Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for being here today. My name is Tia, and I am going to be facilitating our CBT Anger-Management Group. And so before we begin, I want to explain what cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, is and how it helps with anger. So one thing that cognitive behavioral therapy teaches us is that our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors are all connected. Many times, anger comes from like an automatic thought. So a quick reaction before we actually have fully processed the situation. These automatic thoughts can feel very real, but they're often distorted or incomplete. So in anger management work, CBT helps us slow down impulses, identify the thoughts that trigger our anger, challenge those thoughts, and then choose calmer, more effective responses. And so that's what we're going to focus on today. And I will teach you a very simple technique that will help you. We'll also discuss a little bit later homework that I will provide to you, and we'll discuss that as well. And I know you might hear homework and think, oh my goodness, but it's pretty simple, and you can do it if you're able to. If you're not, we'll kind of discuss maybe some things that you can think off the top of your head that you experienced throughout the week for next week. So again, today's session will focus on recognizing anger triggers, reframing automatic thoughts so you feel more in control in moments that would normally escalate. So today, we're going to start off. Before we start, I'd like for us all to introduce ourselves and to share one word that describes how you're feeling right now. And briefly tell us why you might have picked that particular word. So I'll begin, and then we'll kind of go down the road. My word is going to be grounded because I feel present and I'm ready to be here and to support you all. Would you like to start?
Sure. My name is Bree, and my word is determined. I want to work on my anger.
Okay, Bree. Thank you so much for sharing that. Determination. It's really a strong starting place. I'm glad that you're feeling determined, and I'm glad that you're here. And so, would you like to go next?
Yes. My name is Mary. My word is anxious. I've been trying to not get overwhelmed today, but I'm here.
Okay. Mary, thank you. First, I want to say thank you for being here. And thank you for being honest. I feel like a lot of people feel anxious before talking about anger or even being in situations like this. Being in a group like this, amongst people, sharing information about yourself can be anxiety provoking. So you're not alone. Thank you again. And so what about you?
Hi, I'm Jocelyn. My word is tension. I usually feel a lot of tension over me. I feel really irritable, easy to get irritable. A lot of anger as well. For the most part, I feel like constantly I just get irritable about everything.
Okay.
And like today, I almost didn't came here.
Okay, so tense. I kind of hear a lot coming from you, and so we'll break that down a little bit more, but I want to say thank you so much for showing up. It must have took a lot of courage, feeling how you're feeling, and so again, I'm glad that we're all here, and we're going to work through this together. So before we begin, I would like to do a grounding exercise. And it's actually something that's really simple, and it helps to calm your nervous system, and trigger different things within your body and your brain to help you feel more calm when you're angry. And so this is something that you all can use in your daily lives. It's something that's quick. It's a quick tool. You don't need papers. You don't really need to think too much, but it will help. It will naturally help your body feel calmer. So we're going to do a brief grounding exercise, and it's just deep breathing. This is going to help regulate the body, which is really crucial when you're working with anger or feeling anger. So I want everyone to plant their feet on the floor and rest your hands in your lap. And then we're going to take a slow breath in and then a long breath out. So let's do that. Slow breath in And a long breath out, release. And so notice the physical sensation. Maybe the chair beneath you or your hands resting in your lap. And we're going to do it again. Take one more slow breath in, and then out. Great job. Thank you. Thank you guys. I hope that felt good and calming. That is grounding, and it helps to activate the part of your brain that helps calm down anger. Okay, so now before we fully get into things, I would like to discuss our group rules. These are things that we don't necessarily have to discuss each time that we're going to be seeing each other, but these are just some house rules, ground rules, things that we're going to share while we're collaborating with each other. We want to make sure that we're always being mindful and respectful. So considering that, our group guidelines for today and for the remainder of our sessions will be: first, respect. So speak openly but respectfully. Confidentiality, that's very important. So what's shared here stays here. It's all of our responsibilities to ensure that we're maintaining confidentiality. Participation, so share at your own comfort level. I know that, again, it can be anxiety provoking. You can have different emotions when kind of sharing information about yourself. And so if you're not able to, listening is also considered participation. Another one, the fourth one, is going to be no interrupting. So one voice at a time. We're here, we have enough time, and we're all here to kind of hear and allow for everyone to feel heard. The last one is going to be safety. So if at any point in time someone feels escalated or things get escalated, I may pause the discussion just to help us reset. We might go into a grounding technique. Okay? Do we all agree with these guidelines?
Yes, absolutely.
That works.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you. Okay, great, everyone. So now we're going to kind of go into the education in regards to anger and automatic thoughts that might come when you are triggered. So let's talk about how automatic thoughts affect anger. Anger often comes from a quick interpretation of a situation. Usually before we even have time to think things through, just quick. For example, let's just say someone raises their voice at you. One person might think, they're attacking me, and get really mad, really angry very quickly. While another might think, well, they raised their voice, maybe they're stressed, and they might be concerned. What's going on? While another person might think, this again, and just feel irritated and agitated. So those are the same triggers, but different thoughts, different emotions, and that will often cause for different reactions or consequences. So I'd like each of you to share a recent moment where you felt your anger kind of rising. Bree, can you start us off?
Sure. Just today I was riding in traffic and someone cut me off.
Okay. Thank you. So traffic triggers are common, really common.
And I got really angry.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm sorry that happened to you. Mary, would you like to go next?
Sure. I got annoyed when my brother kept interrupting me.
Okay, so you got annoyed because your brother was interrupting you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that. I mean, being interrupted can feel very invalidating. So I'm sorry that happened to you. And what about you?
I blew up yesterday when staff asked me the same question all over and over again. I was just feeling overstimulating. Like on my mind, I was just thinking like, why do you keep asking me the same question? This is annoying. Are you paying attention?
Yeah.
Or are you just trying to bother me?
Right. No, yeah, thank you. That sounds frustrating. I mean, I can understand why you might have been frustrated. But we will break all of this information that you all provided down a bit further. And so that's going to go into our next segment, which is identifying anger trigger and those thoughts. So we're going to break down each moment that you all shared into the situation, so what was going on, your automatic thought, and then the emotion. especially like the anger and the intensity of the anger. So, Bree, we'll start with you. When someone cut you off, what thought went through your mind?
I thought they disrespected me on purpose.
Okay. So when they cut you off, you felt they disrespected you on purpose. And what emotion or level of anger might have followed that?
Instant anger, like 10 out of 10.
Okay.
I wish I could have reached in that car and grabbed them and pulled them out.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. So I'm hearing you became instantly angry. 10 out of 10. You felt disrespected when someone cut you off. You felt they did it on purpose.
Yes.
Okay. And Mary, what about you?
I thought he never listens to me.
Okay. So when you were interrupted, you felt or thought that he never listens to you. And so then what emotion came after?
The emotion that I felt was anger mixed with hurt.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm hearing you were interrupted. You thought, he never listens to me. And then you felt angry and hurt.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. And so, Jocelyn, what was your automatic thought yesterday?
My automatic thought yesterday was that they mostly considering that I'm stupid.
Mm.
Because I was just getting very annoying and irritable when I was just keep hearing the same question all over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, do you want to get a different answer?
Mm.
Or what is the problem? Because I just keep repeating myself all over and over.
Thank you for sharing that. And so, what I'm hearing yesterday, when they continued to ask you questions or the same questions, you felt they think I'm stupid. And so, how did that make you feel?
Very angry, very frustrating. I was feeling annoying. I feel like my anger was in a scale of 1 out of 10. It was like an 8 out of 10. And I was trying to suppress those feelings. But I feel like the anger was taking control over me 100%.
Thank you for sharing that. You kind of gave some really good key points. You were trying to suppress it, but you felt the anger was taking control of you. And so this is where we kind of understand that anger and sometimes automatic reactions and thoughts drive our emotional reaction and then create other situations and consequences. So thank you so much for sharing that. So now that you all have shared the information in regards to the situations and how you were feeling, we're going to kind of focus on cognitive restructuring when you're feeling angry. And so, Bree, your thought was, they disrespected me on purpose. So what evidence do you have that supports that they disrespected you purposely?
Honestly, I have no clue. I just assumed it, and I just wanted to take care of it. I felt like they wasn't paying attention and just jumped over in front of me.
Okay. And so what evidence goes against your thought that they did this on purpose?
They could have been distracted or didn't see me.
Right. Yeah. So exactly. A more balanced thought might be, I don't really know their intentions, right? A good thing or good saying that someone used to say is, you don't really know you can't read people's minds, so you don't know what's going on. So you don't know what their intentions were, and accidents do happen. So yeah, good job with that. How does that feel?
A little less intense.
Good. And so, Mary, your thought was, he never listens to me. What's another possible explanation?
I can think probably he might be distracted.
Okay, exactly. And so instead of thinking he never listens to me, he might have been distracted. That's great. And so how does that feel?
Now that I think about it, it doesn't feel as much as personal.
Right. And sometimes when we take things personal and we internalize things, that can cause us to have different emotions. So yes, this reframing is very helpful and sometimes very necessary to keep us out of certain situations. So great job. And so, Jocelyn, your automatic thought was, they think I'm stupid. They keep asking me these same questions. They think I'm stupid. So what might have been another explanation?
They may just forgot it. They asked it already. They asked the same question all over again.
Exactly. Yeah, they might have forgotten. And so, considering that or reframing that with that thought, how does that feel?
Like having a new perspective and like thinking about a potential possible other reason. Maybe I can feel like least triggering, like it wasn't that personal. Maybe they would just forget about it, and maybe there is like a really good rationale behind that.
Yeah.
But I was just at the moment I was just feeling a lot of frustration. But if I had that insight from this new perspective, I feel less triggering.
Yeah. Good. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you everyone for sharing. And so I think that you all did a really great job at reframing those basically cognitive distortions. That's what we call them. You guys did a really great job with reframing those ideas and automatic thoughts that you had in regards to those distressing situations. I want for us to kind of work through and be able to do these on our own in practice when you're out and you're having these situations. So we're going to practice here together. And so I'm going to provide you with the thought, and I would like for you all to kind of provide me with a more balanced alternative. Okay? So the thought is, if someone corrects me, they're disrespecting me. And so, Bree, what's a more balanced alternative?
They might just be trying to help me.
Exactly. They might just be trying to help. And so, Mary, again, the thought is, if someone corrects me, they're disrespecting me. How might you reframe that?
Correction isn't the same as disrespect.
Exactly. Great. And it kind of takes you you're no longer taking it so personal, right? You're no longer internalizing things. So yes. And Jocelyn?
Maybe it's something like they're not attacking me. It's just information. They're just trying to find out the right information, and it was probably never with the intention of attacking me or harming any possible way. They were just trying to make sure that they got the right information from me.
Yes, exactly. Excellent job of reframing. You guys did very well with that exercise. And so now I want for us to kind of go through a reflection. We're going to reflect on today's group session. And so how we're going to reflect is I'd like each of you to share one takeaway from today's session. Would you like to start, Bree?
Yes, my anger comes from assumptions I make too quickly.
I like what you said there, too quickly. We talked about automatic thoughts, reactions, automatic emotions. So yes, sometimes our anger and things can come from assumptions that we're making. So maybe depersonalizing things, no longer internalizing things, thinking about things more rationally, taking deep breaths. Like we said earlier, our intentions with this anger management group and utilizing cognitive behavioral therapy is to allow for ourselves to slow things down, think about it, and then have a reaction. So that was great. Beautiful insight. And what about you, Mary?
That reframing my thoughts helps the anger die down faster.
Exactly. Reframing allows for less intensity, right? Because if you continue to spill and think about what you're thinking, oh, he's ignoring me, he doesn't care about me, you're going to continue to react, and then that anger is going to intensify. But when you think, maybe he was just distracted or something else is going on, we're no longer taking it so personal, and it will kind of allow for our anger or those intense emotions to die down, to allow for us to have more rational reactions and thought processes. So great job. And Jocelyn?
What I take from here is that I think I jumped to the worst conclusion very quickly. I also I starting to kind of realize and like just being self-aware that I probably overreact usually very quick. I'm oversensitive, and I probably just take most of the time I take things personally, like personal, instead of just kind of like taking the time to make a more rational conclusion over things instead of just jumping to the gross conclusion.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that and recognizing that. I think that that's real progress. I feel that this is our first session, but you guys have a lot of insight. It makes me feel good about the work that we're going to be able to do. So you said a lot of things, like you kind of jump to conclusions, the worst conclusion. Sometimes a lot of people, it's easy for us to like catastrophize or continue to think about things. So the fact that you have that insight, I think that we're going to do very well continuing to work together. Thank you for that. And so we are going to kind of close out. I did discuss with you guys earlier some homework that I was going to provide. So I know you hear homework, you might feel anxious or overwhelmed in regards to that, but it's really a simple exercise, as we did today, how you guys were able to verbally talk out your emotions, situation, things that happen, your automatic thoughts, and how you're able to reframe it. This is going to be a simple exercise where I would like for you guys to take one moment before we come back next week and a situation and notate kind of your automatic thoughts, things that triggered you, how you were able to reframe as we did today. So I'm giving each of you an anger trigger worksheet to take home and try to complete, like I said, at least one before our next session. If you're not able to, that's okay. But things that we want to focus on specifically on this anger trigger worksheet is the situation. So what happened? The automatic thought, so this happened and I feel this way. The level of anger that it caused, and then the balanced thought that you chose to reframe. Practicing this will help build emotional regulation, as we discussed, and reduce anger intensity over time, which is important. We're going to continue to work through that. So I really want to say thank you all so much for your honesty today and participation. Our session is now complete. Before we finish, I would like to do one more grounding exercise, and then we'll go. All right, so I want everyone to plant their feet on the ground and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to exhale. And I want you to just focus on something that you're feeling sensations, what you're feeling in the chair, your feet on the ground, maybe your hands against your thighs. We're going to take a deep breath in again. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. All right, you guys can open. Thank you. I hope that each of you all feel calmer and you're able to utilize something from today throughout your week next week. See you guys next week.
Tia. This was really helpful. I appreciate it.
Of course. And then I'm going to get those worksheets.